Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Inside the File podcast brings you the opinions and perspectives of a couple best friends. And if you don't like that call, we've got three words for you. Get out of here! This week, ERA doesn't just stand for earned run average. This week, ERA stands for eras. Eras of baseball, eras of fun, eras of the excellence that brought us to the love of this game. This week, we talk about what we would do with teams from certain eras and how we would build an ultimate team for those eras. We are your hosts, Chris and Ethan. Welcome to Inside the Foul.
Yeah, I had this crazy question that I was like, what would the steroid era or the 90s, early 2000s era, what would it do against teams nowadays, pitchers nowadays? Would Barry Bonds and Paul Skenes be a good matchup? Would Aaron Judge versus Randy Johnson be a good matchup? And my thing is, why don't we just build teams against this? But before we start, I have a question for Ethan. After Judge, after Trout, after Otani, who becomes the face of the MLB? Is there any candidates now? Because I feel like once the Harper goes to the Kyle Schwarbers, who's really out there?
So, you and I briefly talked about this week, and you kind of understand a little bit of where my head is. You know how each era of baseball, and this is kind of what spurred our idea of the teams, was that each era has had its big names. You know, you had the Gehrigs and the Mantles of the 30s and 40s and the Ruth and all that, and then you get the Randys and the Griffeys and the McGuires of the 80s, the Sosas of the 80s. Like, you had the names, you had those guys that carried the league that were your talking points. And right now in this era of baseball that we get to enjoy currently, you got the Judges, the Otanis, and the Skeens. You've got these guys out there. Um, and honestly, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the young talent that we're seeing coming up right now that are making their debuts. Because you've got the guys like Connor Griffin, Ethan Holiday, these guys aren't bad. The Akamotos and the Murakamis of the league, they're young, they're up and coming. This is their rookie season type of thing. You've got Nick Kurtz, but the problem is you're not seeing the same caliber of player early on. You know, when you saw Otani, you had 2-3 years where Otani wasn't great on the Angels. He still made headlines because two-way player, but that's what kept him relevant. It wasn't his early on skills. Now you're seeing guys like Judge who are hitting for average 1 year and home runs the next. And Judge had 1 year where he wasn't super. I think it was like a 248 season, but outside of that, he's had multiple seasons of 50 plus, a few MVPs. um, there are some candidates for it going forward. I would love to see the Nick Kurtz, become a more consistent bat rather than the flash in the pan home run. Um, but
I do have one name to run by you that I thought about this morning.
Connor Griffin.
Not just Connor Griffin, but he's in the Central. Jacob Bukanowski. He's got the Pokemon glove. It's he kind of
So
throws hard like Randy, and he interacts
the
with people.
my problem with Misiorowski is
Don't send him a baseball
probably
card.
no. Misiorowski's a great pitcher. Listen, against the Yankees, he threw 6 of the fastest pitches of the season in the first inning and was still throwing gas in the fourth. Okay, great pitcher. But here's my problem: you're not going to see any more pitchers that do what the Maddoxes did and what the Johnsons did. Those guys that were throwing and had long tenured careers and much success and breaking records. Verlander's probably the last one you're going to see breaking records and 3,000 strikeouts and all this. That will probably be the last one we see for a while.
Yeah.
And that's because Verlander doesn't throw all out all the time. We're seeing that out of every guy that pitches now that throws above 95. And if you watch, and I saw uh, stills of Misiorowski's arm, his elbow, when he's throwing 103, 104, 105 miles an hour. Okay. His elbow looks decrepit,
Yeah.
like the amount of force he's putting on his elbow. He's not a big bulky kid, so you can see every striation in the muscle. You can see where it looks like the joints in the elbow are coming apart, and so much general wear and tear on these guys that this is something we've talked about before. You know, about the Tommy Johns, and we've talked about the stress that these guys are putting on their arms. I don't think you see it. Don't get me wrong. I want to see Misiorowski and Skenes make it long tenured careers. I do. That's great for baseball. Okay.
Yeah.
The only person I know that's that age and still throws 100 is Chapman, but he's always been a bullpen arm. He's not getting that, 5 day, every 5 day abuse of 4 or 5 innings. And let's be honest, have you seen the size of that man?
That's a tank. That's a
So,
tank.
as much as I want to say Mizorowski's going to be great, Chris, there's no way he makes it long term.
Yeah. My thing with Skeens is we got to get him more social. You know, you gotta. Yes, he talked during the WBC, but if you look at Skeens, he looks unapproachable. You know, he just looks angry all the time. You know?
You, you know who Skeens reminds me of in that aspect? You know him. You miss him. His name is Max Fried. He
Yeah,
reminds me of
yeah.
Max Fried because you look at Max Fried any given day, bro looks like he is mad at the world. And then when
I
you
don't
get
miss
him in
Max
the
Fried right
interview,
now, though.
oh, well,
Let's
listen,
clarify that.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying is he doesn't interview well from what
Yes.
you see post game and everything. He's short, not really, just okay, yeah, cool. I did my job. Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We go out and do it again.
He was.
You
He
know.
was. I think he was. The only time I saw him really social is during the World Series. But he
Okay.
was. He was a little more hyped. But the Braves did a documentary, and that's the only time I saw him social. I mean, if Gunnar or Bobby Witt could be more social, I think they would be great candidates. Maybe
Bobby
Drake
Witt's thing.
Baldwin.
Bobby Witt has the appeal. He just has to, like you said, be more approachable and fun because he
Yeah.
is fun. Bro is
Yeah.
awesome. Great player. But I
And I
would
think if Vinny
compare. But
I think if Vinny too was on a different team, we'd probably get more action with Vinny because Vinny was hilarious in WBC.
yeah.
I wanted to take espresso shots just like Vinny. You know, I think we should do that. You know, JCBL, you hit a home run, we take espresso shots.
Hey, listen, you'll be working with the Muffin Freaks this week. Let them know this is what we
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Um,
But my thing is going forward. Who do you have? I could see Murakami being a good, not replacement for Judge, but a good guy to be that power hitter. Okay.
yeah,
You got guys like Travis Bazana that could be the next, average hitter, hit for average guy. Like you could see it, but then you've got to market those guys. And Travis Bazana's in Cleveland. Look how well Jose Ramirez has been marketed. Not really all that
yes,
great.
yeah. I was gonna
Then
say,
you go look at Murakami and the White Sox. Who on the White Sox is ever pushed like that? They're
mm,
never marketing him like that.
I would say the last time they marketed anyone, it was Frank Thomas or Michael Jordan down there in the Double A.
Right. So the problem is the good guys are in small markets right now.
Yeah, and there's no one in the AL West that you can really say after Trout. I mean, maybe Joe Adele. I
No.
uh, I will
He'll
say
get a
the
gold
NL.
glove, maybe, but that's
I
about
will
it.
say I will say the NL East probably has the most candidates because you got James Wood, Drake Baldwin. You got all the Marlins players. I mean, there, there's so many of
Well,
them you could name potentially.
if Griffin Conine comes back healthy and hits really well, he could be a big name to come out of there because his dad played for them.
Yeah, yeah. So
And so
that could be great.
that's a lineage thing. You could carry that, you can market that. And Miami, bro, you could market baseball in Miami. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Y'all just aren't doing it right.
Listen, I'm still impressed with James Wood. Okay, you get it inside the park, home run, grand slam, like
So back to my original point, you do realize that he didn't start out great last year.
yeah, yeah. But the Nats should be pushing James Wood. You
Yeah.
know, our candidate for the home run derby. All star. Vote James
Yeah.
Wood.
And
You know,
honestly, you realize how, and I know a lot of players like to sit out of the home run derby, but do you realize just how much the home run derby helps with visibility on some of these hitters? You do realize
yeah,
I fell in love with Giancarlo Stanton in the home run derby. Like 9 o'clock at night, I'm supposed to be in bed going to sleep, but what's on the TV? Ooh, they're hitting home runs, and just so happens to be the year that Stanton wins the home run derby, and then Judge. And I've seen so many other players win, and it's like that's where these guys get the push. That's where these guys get noticed.
I think I now that you bring up that idea, I have a new addition for the home run derby. We should do what the NBA does. Do a rookie, sophomore home run derby, and then do a veteran home run derby. Get the
Ooh,
attention on the
yeah.
young guns. Like, okay, you could have Drake Baldwin, Nick Kurtz on the sophomore versus and let it be a team where they have to work together. And the winning team splits the money.
Maybe like at your timeout, the next guy comes in, type of thing. That'd be
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
cool.
You each get like 5 pitches.
Because the All Star
Five
break's
guys. That's
supposed to be fun anyway,
yeah,
or better yet, okay, do like the NFL instead of doing add to the home run derby for like the younger guys, the newer rookies and stuff. Do skills drills and stuff. You know how football has the throws
yeah,
and the hit the targets and all this? Do something like that with baseball. Make it a turn two situation. Do a drill where it's like a outfield throw. How fast can you throw? How far can you throw? Like do some stuff like that
yeah.
just for
Do
the
a
fun of
catcher.
the game and engage those guys with fans in competitions like that, because then everyone's getting it, not just the 5 guys in the home run derby and the 12 guys in the all-star game.
100%. I just say you do what the KBO does. Add a bunt home run derby challenge. Okay, make it a bunt contest where you got to hit a target. Let's see who can
because i
lay it
know
down.
because I know this took us off the original question, but the original
Yes,
question being, I don't see anybody right now that if Judge, Otani, Jose,
Freddie.
Machado, all those guys retired, right? Tomorrow. I don't know anybody that you can market the MLB with to really gain that that notoriety nationwide, because you don't have to know baseball to know who Aaron Judge is. You
100%.
really don't have to know baseball to know who Shohei Otani is.
100%. My
Like
son
that's the
wears
biggest
99
name.
because of Otani. I mean, when he, you know,
Like Dylan's baseball number stays 99 because Aaron Judge. Like that's it.
yeah, yeah,
So I get it, and so I don't see that right now with many other players. Don't get me wrong; everyone has a market in their fandom because each city. Because I made it to the Rangers Stadium when I was in Dallas, and they love them some Seager. They love them some Seager. The amount of Seager jerseys that were on, like that's who's marketed. But Seager's not marketed outside of Dallas. Okay.
yeah.
Same thing with Otani's marketed everywhere. Judge is marketed New York and everywhere. So the city markets
Trout.
the player, but Trout, let's be honest, when has Trout been marketed the last few years?
True, true, true.
So Therein lies the problem. It's not a player problem. It's a we're not marketing the player.
Yeah.
You want to bring people to the game, market the player, market the game. Let's get it out there. The blackout games don't help. You know,
No.
but market your games and you'll have those people. You could turn Nick Kurtz right now, as he plays right now, into a marketable player and everyone would know who he is. He's got a cool nickname, the Big Amish. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You
I
market
mean,
that with like a an Amish commercial where he does a barn raising right before, going to hit a home run in athletics, something. Like, bro, that's perfect.
yeah.
You're just not
Yeah.
marketing right.
Yeah. Or make him like he's building the stadium Amish style, and then goes to batting practice. So this all leads us down to which era of baseball is better. I gave Ethan the choice, and he chose. What wonderful year did you choose from?
I didn't really get to choose. You wanted the era you did because you grew up in it. Okay, let's
Yeah,
be
because I'm an
honest.
old
Let's
folks.
be
Okay, the
honest.
old folks.
Speaking
I
of,
chose.
and just for the fun of it, this is being recorded on May 21st, 2026. He's sighing because he knows what I'm doing. This is coming out on the 22nd. Okay, this man's birthday is today. He just got a year older, not a year younger, a year older. The dates don't change for us. They keep going. Women can do that. We can't. Okay. So happy
Yeah,
birthday to
thanks,
my
buddy.
co-host.
Just for that, I'm not taking it easy on you with my 90 to '09 team. Because you
So
got
yes,
2010 to present. So unfortunately,
yes.
he's got the more of the Versa players. Where I'm going to be honest, my team was done in about 20 minutes because there was one name I just couldn't go without. And you know what? Turn the hat back for the team captain. Because our team captain's got to lead us to the promised land.
Okay. Who is your team captain?
The the King Griffey. You got a video game in the
Oh
'90s. We got
yeah.
to ride the
You
Griffey
know,
train.
was he ever the captain of the Mariners?
No, but he's going to be my
No.
captain.
Fair
You
enough.
know, 24
So
always number one in my heart.
so did you want me to go through my lineup first? So here's what
Yes.
I designed. I have you three starters. I have
Okay.
you three bullpen arms. I have four on the bench and a starting nine with
Okay.
so um so I when I did my research, I'm looking through some of the agreement that you and I came to was that barring injuries, we are getting
Yes.
these players in their prime, their best. Like this is the best version of this player. Okay. So for my catcher position, Yadier Molina.
Okay. You know what? I thought you were going another direction, but I like that direction a little bit more.
So here's my reasoning. Yadier Molina was not known for a home run bat. He was known to get on, but the biggest thing he was known for is you don't run on Yadier Molina. Okay, I don't care who you are. You don't run on Yadier Molina. He would dare you and then throw you out the next pitch.
I
So,
think my leadoff hitter's going to like this matchup.
so Yadier Molina as my catcher. Okay.
Okay.
First base. Now my time is 2010 to 2025. This made it very difficult. Okay. Very difficult. I want Miguel Cabrera. Okay. I want Miguel
Thank you.
Cabrera in his prime. So, and that made it very difficult because you had Joey Votto in his prime, you had Freddie Freeman in his prime, but nothing compares to Miguel Cabrera in his prime. That man was a phenomenal hitter with an OPS that would make you cry. Okay. So,
Yep.
Miguel Cabrera gets my starting nod at first base. Okay. Second base.
Mm.
As much as I wanted to,
Mm.
as much as I wanted to, Robinson Cano's going on the bench.
Oh, okay.
My second baseman is going to be Mookie Betts
Okay.
because you got to think his best time at second base. When he was with the Red Sox, phenomenal player. great defensive glove, gold glove at second, and I need somebody that could catch Yachty. Okay. So, but Cano on the bench gives me the ability to change that for a lefty based on matchup, and that gives me the opportunity to get a power hitter in if I, don't feel confident in Mookie. Okay. Third base. Much as I wanted to, I couldn't do Adrian Beltre. Defense is not there.
Okay.
I'm getting prime Machado.
Oh, okay.
Prime, prime Machado. No injuries. 20 home runs a season. Come on, Machado. All day, every day. That throw, you ain't getting nothing past him in the hot corner. Beautiful. Shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki. Hands down, no debate. Troy Tulowitzki. And I understand that bro was not in the league very long and was kind of a flash in the pan, but was phenomenal defensively, was set to become one of the best shortstops the league had ever seen. Injuries took that away from him. Too low. Too low.
Okay. All right.
So, left field. Okay. Left field. I'm going with Christian Yelich. Okay.
Okay.
In the man's prime, lefty hitter. I need an extra lefty in my lineup. I've got heavy righties. Um, I think that's a great matchup for me. Great defensively. I'm going to stick with that. Okay. Center field, Mr. Mike Trout. Can't do it. And nobody else does it better.
Okay.
Nobody else does it better. On the bench, Andrew McCutchen.
I like that.
I had a
We know
problem
who's
here.
right field.
I
Oh,
had a problem here.
really?
Because if you think about it, in 2017, there was a player that hit for 56 home runs, won an MVP, and then became a part of one of the greatest organizations in baseball, Mr. Giancarlo Stanton. However, Aaron Judge hit 62. He's a 3-time MVP. He is a multi-time All-Star. Aaron Judge is getting the right field spot. Stanton
Okay.
is on the bench.
Okay. That means DH is the one and only.
DH. So I was at a toss-up for this one, only because you brought up a point that maybe I don't want this one not in DH position if I'm going to use them perhaps in my starting rotation, because there was another DH that, as much as I hated him, would probably be iconic in a certain situation. So I decided to put him in my third place spot on the bench because he'd be phenomenal if I needed the matchup. Otani's getting the DH spot. However, on the bench as a possible DH substitution, because I might need let's say, more experienced bat in situations, Mr. David Ortiz.
Okay. Well. Okay.
And that also gives me a substitution at first base for Cabrera if I want a lefty. So that's why I wanted Ortiz. I wanted Ortiz because, listen, there's very little that got past that man that he couldn't just hammer. Okay.
Yeah.
And as much as, I am a Red Sox hater because Yankees all day, I couldn't just not. Okay. So Otani getting the start means that somebody, that one kind of gives away one of my starters, being, Shohei Otani. But number two, I need a lefty, one of the most prolific lefties of our generation. Debuted against the only other old current pitcher still standing, Mr. Clayton Kershaw. In
Mm.
his prime, that curveball made people bend over and kiss their butt goodbye. Okay. Clayton Kershaw in his prime was phenomenal. So I told you I only had three because we have a plan for these teams. But number three, with no injuries, remember, no injuries, what they could be in their absolute best, Jacob DeGrom.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
Jacob
I like
DeGrom
that.
has to be that one. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Understand this is not a snub on Paul Skenes. This is not a snub on Tariq Skubal. I only went with my top three, but my big thing is when you're thinking about non-injuries and guys that had a height for a ceiling that didn't even exist, you know, two of those guys for sure. But Otani only because I don't want to lose that bat, and he's not a bad pitcher. But DeGrom and Kershaw, you have to. Um, so my relief pitchers. So you said from 2010 to 2025, there is a certain reliever that has the most saves and one of the best Yankees to ever do it, Mr. Mariano Rivera. That's the
Okay.
closer. That's my man. The Sandman's going to hit, and you're going night night.
Okay. All right. So we have one player the same.
So, and that's only because I had to look it up. I had to make sure because he did play in 2009, but I had to see
Yeah.
how much further he played. And even listen, even at that point, the man was phenomenal. Okay, I had to.
I can't disagree.
So number two, because I need a lefty, and we've already talked about this man and how he's still throwing gas like he is now. Again, all these Red Sox, I'm getting real upset about it. Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman at number two. Okay. So that left me with because I wanted to get a more modern day guy um, as a closer that's quality, um, and it wasn't a very difficult easy decision. But if I was looking at current day, it wasn't very difficult. I had to go with Mason Miller.
Okay. I
Mason
like
Miller.
that one.
So
I
you
like
get
that one.
Mariano with the cutter, you get Chapman with the splitter and the fastball, and then if I really need it, I'll just bring in Miller to blow it by you.
I like that. Well-rounded
So
team.
yes, very well rounded. Now I will say honorable mentions. Okay, Joe Mauer for catcher. It's just Yachty. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
argue that. And the Bryce Harpers, again, Buster Posies. Those are all guys I considered, but I had to think about who's going to pair well at their very best. One with Yachty, because if Yachty's going to throw it at you, you better catch it. Okay.
Yes.
And my infield, I wanted nothing to get past them. So you got your Machado and your Betts and your Tulo and everything's set there. And I had to get some heavy hitters and some lefties and righties to make sure that my lineup wasn't so righty heavy, and that's why I have the options on the bench if I needed them. So
All right. Are you ready for the Doom Squad? Because this is what these.
from 90
Listen,
to
I will
oh
say it.
05, I think it was.
Yeah. So here you go. Starting number one spot, left fielder, Mr. Ricky Henderson. Okay. Because
Yep.
Ricky's gonna
Yep.
steal on you. Because Ricky's gonna do what Ricky wants to do.
Listen,
Because
I would have
Ricky,
loved to see Ricky versus Yachty all day, every day. Could you imagine the chirping that
I think,
those two would have done?
as Ricky would have talked in third person, Ricky just gonna do what Ricky does. Okay. Because Ricky's gonna do it. Okay.
And Yachty would have just nodded at him and been like, okay, go ahead.
In starting right field, number two, Tony Gwynn. Okay.
Ooh,
Mr.
okay.
Consistent. Mr. Consistent. Okay. This is where the lineup gets deadly. Your DH. Number three in the lineup. Barry Bonds.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I would love to see Barry against guys like Kershaw and some of these
And this is where it gets even better. Your 4-hole hitter. Starting first base. Albert Pujols.
Cool. Yeah, but see, ooh, first base.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you didn't prioritize defense.
I did on the bench. I did on the bench
Okay.
because I didn't know what pitcher you were going to go with first. So I went with like my first matchup, my fifth hole hitter. Okay, that's going to scare you. He's just gonna be Ken Griffey Jr. You know, he's going to do what Griffey does in center field. Then this is where it gets even better. Starting third base. The man did it from both sides of the plate. Great glove. Number 1 overall pick, Chipper Jones. Okay,
Yep,
Mr. Chipper gonna
coming.
do things. And then we're gonna get to shortstop. You know, we'll take him in his prime before he got the roids up in New York. Alex Rodriguez. Okay.
Okay, so hold on. So we talked about this a little bit. What made you pick A-Rod?
Got the glove, and I hate Jeter. And you, you know, but A-Rod can also hit too.
Yes.
And then second base gets even cooler because I got Jeff Kent, Mr. Consistent, you know. Gonna put the ball in play.
Guys. You got a lot of hit for contact, guys.
But then
see,
I get to my...
I thought about you. I thought about that. That's why my defense is the way it is.
But then I got to my catcher. My catcher not only can play defense, but he can hit the ball. Mr. Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge himself. Okay.
Okay.
Then we're gonna go to the starting rotation because we'll leave the bench for last because the bench settles everything. My number 1, because I did 5 pitchers, because you never know what I'm gonna need in this series. Mr. Bird Killer himself, Randy Johnson,
of course.
And then I'm gonna go Greg Maddux, get that left-right matchup. Then I'm gonna go to the best other lefty behind Johnson, Tom Glavine. But then this is where it gets spicy. I'm going to pitch Pedro fourth. Okay, and if you have a problem with Pedro, my 5th pitcher could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Technically number 1 in anybody's heart. Roger Clemens. Okay?
Yeah. Mr. belongs in the Hall of Fame.
And then I'm going to go to my Hall of Fame bullpen. I only picked 3 because there was no need to pick any more. First, I'm going to go Mr. Eric Gagne because he's going to throw at Bonds and say, let's play this game. But he's got Bonds on a teammate, so he ain't worried. Then we're going to go Mr. Trevor Hoffman. I mean, the man's got a lot to say. And then I'm going to go to Sandman, okay? That's why I said we picked someone to sell. But this is where it gets even more challenging for you. My bench, okay? I picked 6 guys because I had trouble choosing, and I had to. I threw my honorary mention in. Gary Sheffield, okay? What you gonna do? Then I'm gonna pick Larry Walker.
Hit it right at him. I'm gonna hit it right at him.
It's okay. It's okay. I got Larry Walker.
Neither of those guys were great defensively.
It's okay. We're gonna have the lead. It's okay. It's okay. Then my backup catcher just
small ball though, you know.
Yeah. And then I got Mike Piazza as my backup catcher because Pudge might need a break.
Okay.
The 2 best catchers in the air.
Yeah, and don't take no breaks.
Then if Chipper needs break, okay, we'll bring in Scott Rowland.
That's a good defensive. Yeah, a lot better defensively, I feel, than Chipper.
And then last but least, the first baseman backup. In case Mr. Pujols needs a break, we're going to bring in the big hurt, Frank Thomas.
Oh, dang.
See, and my honorable mentions, because I couldn't choose, okay, I had Andrew Jones, Mr. Gold Glove himself. And then I had the Iron Man, okay, Cal Ripken, okay? I could have put Cal Ripken at shortstop. And then, switched him at third,
Yeah, because see, my problem was picking between Tulo and Bobby Witt. So if I'm adding 2 more to my bench, I get to add Bobby Witt.
So my problem was first base because I went Pujols, but then I had Frank Thomas, Jeff Bagwell, Jim Thome, Tito Martinez.
Ruffy makes a play for that the end of his career.
Yeah. Then the outfield. Okay, there were so many outfielders to choose from. Okay, but I'm like DH. That eliminates one that goes to DH. So why not?
A complete snub to Griffey?
Griffey's my starting center fielder.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Okay,
Yeah,
I missed that
he's
part.
he's my team captain. He's gonna hype the team up hitting
Oh, that's right.
behind
You
Barry
said
Bonds.
that. Okay,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
hitting behind Barry Bonds. Like, what you gonna do? You gonna walk Barry? Cool. Then you got Griffey into pull holes.
I would probably walk Barry if I have a lefty on the mound.
I mean,
And take the
but you
lefty
got
lefty chance with Griffey.
Ricky hitting and Tony Gwynn in front of Barry Bonds. Okay.
I mean, that's fair. I got to pitch
Y-
to somebody.
Yeah, yeah. And I went with where a lot of these guys had really good defensive years. Everyone on my team has won a Gold Glove or more. So, and my pitchers. I mean, who's gonna put Roger Clemens fifth? Okay.
Apparently, you took the big unit for the ace.
Yeah, and then Grant, Hugo Johnson and the Maddox and I picked a manager because me and this man share a birthday, and he passed away a couple weeks ago. But I'm picking Bobby Cox because my team needs fired up. He's gonna go kick some dirt. He's gonna tell the umpire some things, and our team is gonna end up winning.
If I had to pick a manager, I'm going Joe Girardi.
That's cool. Joe gonna catch an L, not once, not twice, but 4 times by Bobby Cox. You know, you know. I will say it was very hard picking starting first basemen. I think that was the most frustrating thing because I'm like, Pujols was great, Frank Thomas was great, Jim Thome was great, all these people. But outfield was very easy because I knew center field was locked down. Okay, because that's why the hat is
Yeah,
backwards. And third base, I had to put in my favorite player because besides him and Scott Rowland, who dominated at third base.
yeah,
So I'm like, I'll just put the other one on the bench, and unfortunately, Chipper's getting the nod because I can move Chipper anywhere in the lineup, being a switch hitter.
yeah. You can.
So
So there is a way that we could simulate
yes, I'm working on
possibly
it.
what it could be like.
Yes, and we're gonna put it in the Discord, and I'll post a link to Discord once I get the teams done because we're gonna do this with other errors to see how well it goes because I'd like to see the 80s versus the 60s.
What about the 30s versus the 90s?
See, I think that's great.
Because
You
could you
know,
imagine like the Ted Simmons of the world?
oh yeah. Because you gotta think in the 80s, I get to use Ricky Henderson and Dale Murphy,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and some other pitchers. Like, I'm like, ooh, like I will say the pitchers are probably the easiest thing to pick on this team besides center field. Because I'm like, you got to go the best five. I went with the best 2 lefties. I meant, and my bullpen, let's be real. Who do you really want to come out of that bullpen if it's Hoffman, Gagne, or Rivera? Like, I'm going to be honest. Do I even want to get out the dugout knowing all 3 of those are coming? I mean, so, yeah. And,
So my only thing was when I was looking at pitchers, okay, in their best, in their prime, like you had the Chris Sale. I wouldn't mind adding
oh,
him
yeah.
to it as a number 4. Since you added 5, I'm gonna add a couple more.
Okay.
Um, but because I snubbed him and I like him and I want him on the team, we'll add Sale for number 4 and number 5, Paul Skenes.
Okay. Okay.
Just because I can.
Yeah.
Gotta have a little representation of modern era, you
Yeah.
know. But again, my ace still stays, Jacob DeGrom, Chris Sale, like
Yeah.
or
I
well,
like that.
it's either Jacob DeGrom or it's Kershaw. I don't know wholeheartedly.
See, that's a hard one. I feel like
Like I don't
Kershaw's
I don't know.
better.
And it
Just,
sucked to
but
leave Freed off this list too. I'm just saying.
I
It
mean,
really did. It kind of hurt.
I mean, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say Garrett Cole.
So yeah, I wanted to, especially for 2017, but there's so many others. Like I
Yeah.
didn't put Verlander. I didn't put Scherzer.
Max. Yeah, I was gonna say there was no Max.
They're like these are big name guys, and it's like, but we said no injuries, and my biggest
Yes.
thing is, like, DeGrom is one of the biggest arguments for what could have been.
Yes. And if he had some run
Like,
support,
and if he
would
had
have.
run support, honestly, you put him in. Honestly, you could have put him, anywhere else. Like, look at Noah Syndergaard. You
Yeah.
know, came up
I don't
with,
understand.
you know,
I don't know how one got run support and the other one didn't. That is still a mystery to me. And you know me, I'm the biggest Met hater because they're my rival kind of. But how do you help one pitcher and then the other one dominates and homie was lucky if he got one run.
lucky, absolutely lucky. And honestly, like DeGrom is, and he's proving it now because he looks good with the Rangers. We're finally getting to see a healthy, quality, DeGrom to an extent. And imagine like if he had a little more run support with the freaking Rangers.
Yeah, yeah. That is true. That is true. He didn't really get much. But that
Not at
Rangers
all.
team, I feel like he went to the Rangers before the Rangers were ready for their prime.
Yes. Yeah.
You
I
know.
would say so.
Um
So yeah.
I do have one more question for you.
hmm
What's up with your team? Do we want to
So
talk
my
about your team?
hey, I don't know.
Like y'all made a week full of smart moves, okay? And I was super pumped,
So was
super
I.
excited for you. And me and you talked
And
about it for like that whole week. Wow, the Yankees feel like the Yankees that Chris grew up hating. You know, you're making
right.
smart moves, just making smart call ups,
We
and
don't.
then
You're not calling up Volpe, and then Caballero gets hurt, and then Volpe's in anyway.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now, don't get me wrong. Volpe has been great not defensively. He's been great offensively, hitting. Since he's come up. But defensively, we're still seeing errors. My problem is, What are we doing? Like, what is going on with the bat? Like,
I
you
that was good. That was my next question. Is I feel like the bats.
have gone cold. But here's the thing: the Yankees have a history of doing this right in June, right before the All Star break.
But the problem is you don't need to do that with the pesky Rays the ways the Rays are playing right now. The Rays secretly
The
scare me, bro. Like,
honestly, they've been the team to come out of nowhere right now. But again, like I told you with the Marlins, something about this Florida water has these Florida teams playing small ball and they're pesky. Pesky as crap.
yeah,
Like I'm pretty sure the Marlins are giving you guys a little bit of trouble game 1, and then
yeah,
we'll see
yeah.
about game 3 tonight.
Game four, game four. It's
Was it
already game
4?
4. Yeah,
Wow, good lord,
yeah.
where's my week gone?
Uh, it's going by fast. Trust me, I'm 37 today. Trust me, it all. You blink and it's gone. Um, because I was watching y'all's game last night, and unfortunately, the splitter
Poor
man
Schlittler. Poor
came out of nowhere.
Schlittler.
I saw something, and I needed to ask you about. How do you feel about not beating a winning record team yet in a series?
I
How do you?
I I saw that myself, and I had to go back and look, and I'm like, "Well, we played these guys and these guys," and I'm like, "None of them have a winning
Yeah,
record," and I'm like,
yeah,
"What?" And I mean, granted, we went down to the Rays, and I'm like, "What is going on here? You look
yeah,
good, but you look terrible at the same time. What are you doing?"
yeah.
Like,
Like,
the bats are getting cold with the big players we need them to get hot with, you know? We got Jazz Chisholm wearing teammates' pants to get out of a slump. Like, bro has gone from wearing Trent Grisham's pants to wearing John Carlos Stanton's pants, and he looks like Jackie Robinson out there wearing oversized pants.
listen, I wasn't gonna bring that up because homie looked like a clown out there with those pants. I meant
But I
like,
mean, if it works, it works. Don't get me wrong. But like my thing is, this is what I mean by superstitions about baseball. Like baseball players are super superstitious, and it's ridiculous. But it works, okay. But what are we doing? Like
listen, you,
kangaroo court here, bro. Jazz Chisholm doesn't need to be tapping his helmet for nothing. He don't know what a strike zone is apparently.
I don't think a lot of people do because I'm gonna be honest. We talked about one of your pitchers.
Unless your name's
The
Aaron
ABS
Judge and
hurt
you
him.
just like pimp the walk.
Well, I'm just gonna say, if we need to do the juju, you go what Soriano did. We just need to sacrifice a chicken.
Sacrifice.
You know, you go with the
Not the
chicken.
Listen, let's not talk about chickens. Poor Edwin Diaz.
Like, bruh. Yeah. But I was gonna say, if you sacrifice the chicken, at least you can cook it afterwards.
I'm sure that's what Edwin Diaz was doing too.
Do you think he gets suspended on that? Okay, I'm very
No,
curious.
no,
You don't think
no,
so?
no. Puerto
No.
Rico? No. Puerto Rico? It's part of their culture there.
I know, but
And
come
last
on,
I
man.
checked, Puerto Rico, while it is a U.S. territory, it doesn't abide by U.S. law. So,
True.
unless Edwin Diaz is a citizen of the U.S., which I don't know that part, I don't know the legalities. All I know is that when you're in Puerto Rico and you live in Puerto Rico, that's part of the culture.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you caught him cockfighting at the Dodger Stadium, we're gonna have a different conversation, you know.
That is true. That is true. Um, last topic before we close out this episode. Um, 2029, okay, or 2028. We're seeing a lot of rumors. That's when the expansion comes.
We got to get through the lockout first.
Well,
We
that's
got
my
to get
point.
through the
That's
lockout
my point.
first.
When I heard that, I'm like, bro, why don't we make it through next year first? With that, like, because I'm be honest, we gonna
Everybody
be,
already knows we're gonna be in a lockout next year.
and you know what this podcast is gonna be about? Backyard baseball rivalry. Me and Ethan just gonna be clicking away on backyard baseball on my computer. Okay, okay, and whoever gets Pablo, we know who's winning. Okay, just so you know.
No, hey, we'll get the backyard baseball 2001, so we can at least fight for Pablo or Griffey, or Pablo or Barry. You know,
I want to see if you put them on the same team. If you can go undefeated on hard mode,
probably.
that would be kind of cool.
That would be fun. I haven't played backyard baseball in so long.
I'd
Like that,
listen.
I was playing that on Windows XP on a big tower computer.
And the only reason it made me think of that, I'm like, what are like lockout? Who cares about the expansion? I want more teams, yes, but make sure I have baseball next year because I'm gonna be honest. This
Watch us
man
get
right here
another
is,
Mickey Mouse year.
as long as it's not the Dodgers, I don't care. Okay.
That'd be the only way the Yankees win. That's how it works. You win a Mickey Mouse year, and then you come back in a couple years and you start winning them all again.
We're looking for a new co-host that's not a Yankee fan or a Dodger fan because that goes for you, Papa Rupert. Side note, I just totally forgot about this. How was it calling games last week? Felt
So
like it was.
okay, that was fun.
That
That was
was it
fun.
was yes.
For anybody that watched the JCBL games from last weekend,
We are not sorry for whatever we said against the umpire. Okay, truth hurts, bro.
absolutely not, bro.
Okay.
Do better. And I am the podcast's very own umpire hater. And guess what? You gave me everything I needed, and then thank you to the comments. Okay, those were great.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. And what's worse is once I started reading the comments and then I feed off of Ethan, I don't stop.
no.
Okay,
Although I will say he left in a hurry.
man,
That
I
was
would have
funny.
too. I would have too. That game was so bad, even Mickey Mouse wouldn't even give you a participation trophy for that.
Ooh, ouch. But the sad part is he had just umpired for us the night before.
I think he didn't drink his. I don't think he put his contacts in or drank some coffee because he was not awake.
I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't it.
There was a lot of this in the commentary booth, buddy. I'm just saying.
But I don't think we're doing it this weekend, commentary wise.
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah, we got a lot of hectic things going on this weekend for both of us.
but
we do have a cool episode coming forward. Okay, just so you know, guys, I'm not gonna
don't give anything away.
Well, I was gonna say I've already teased it, but the episode will be recorded the day this episode comes out. So stay tuned.
Yep, Chris has got me working. We're getting it done.
Yeah, gotta work him before he tries to pull some vacations.
Hey, listen, it's almost summertime. I got to make my trip to New York. Got to make my trip. Dylan's gonna get to see his first
Catch
Yankee
L's.
Stadium this year.
Catching
No, no, no,
L's
no,
up
no, no, no,
there.
no, 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 no.
Listen. The best record in baseball, 34-16.
Yeah, and if y'all keep it up by the time July 20th comes around, I'm not going to New York that weekend. It's not gonna happen.
Because I'll tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be L's, like there's going to be L's next week for fantasy baseball for Ethan. Oh, GG ball of fun. Okay, way to beat me by 2 points, okay? I'd rather
Listen,
lose by 100.
I'm sorry, Papa Rupert. I had to do it to you.
Yep.
I had to do it to you.
Cushman, you're getting it this week. Sorry, Brock. Ethan's going to take care of you. And then next week, I'm going to give Ethan his
No,
second L.
no,
Nope.
I'm gonna hand you another one. That's okay.
Nope. My team's hot right now. All
You
right, guys.
too.
We will see you next week.
All right, guys. Later.